You become less of that aggressive man that you were at 21. Like right now, I'm all about my testosterone balls, manosphere shit. And then maybe you're just 32 and you're like, man, let me settle down.
You don't get it.
You like fucking Sneako?
We all do, yeah.
You like fucking you, pussy?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that shit gets old.
Nah.
100%.
Nah.
100%. And I could point you to hundreds of players who are online right now who have videos of them telling you new pussy gets old. In fact, how about I tell you this one? And this is something even Andrew Tate says. This is something even Andrew Tate says. All right? Sex becomes overrated after time.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to A Different Perspective. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. So this is a video I've been meaning to get to for a while now. You got Sneako and you got Abba having a conversation, a discussion. What is supposed to be a grown man conversation, but you see, clear as day, there is a difference between how the young man Sneako thinks, I think I'm saying his name right, and how the more mature, more grown man and Abba, how he thinks. But we're about to check this out because I feel like there's a necessary discussion to have in regards to someone who is so gun-ho for RP Red Pill and someone who thinks a bit more practical. So let's watch.
But do you agree with this? Do you believe that perception is reality?
Yeah.
Okay. When I watch you speak, you know what I think? I think that you believe that your perception is reality. And that you're convinced that the way that you view the world sometimes is so accurate that irrespective of what other people are saying, you're like, no, I already know. Which is why I think at one point during your conversation with Gideon said to you, yo, before the person's even done speaking, you're like...
You said you're not listening, Sneako.
I'm listening.
No, you're not listening. Sneako, you already have what you want to say in your mind, and you literally said this in your video. I literally heard you say this clip. You say you don't listen to what people say. You go on and assume what they're gonna say. Bro, you know how many clips on TikToks I've seen where you assume what the girl was gonna say, but then she says something different, and you're like, oh shit, I was not expecting that.
And when he called you on that, you said, yeah, because I already know what they're gonna say. And 95% of the time, I'm right. And then Gideon comes back to you and he says, no, you don't actually know what they're gonna say. You were wrong a few times. Me and hearing you, a lot of your conversations, I noticed it's the same thing when you had your conversation with Don. It's like, I think you're not listening nearly as well as you believe you are, and as a result, when you're having these conversations with these people, it feels very disconjointed. It feels disconnected. And I think there's one thing that you said that I thought was really peculiar. I think Gideon says, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth, speak less, listen more. And your response was, but we're streamers, which made me laugh.
You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more, speak less.
Okay, we're streamers. We talk for a living.
Sometimes I just talk. You're not making much sense. There's too many people get up on these platforms and always talk about others. Oh, women trash, women are trash. Nigga, you live in your mom's basement and you ain't showered in a week.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to. Everybody's talking about others. Oh, the other gender's the problem. Oh, they're the reason why I don't get any. No, it's you most of the time. 95% of the time, you're the problem.
That's why
I will not get on anybody who gets up on here and says, you know what, this is why I fucked up. And I want to hold that on. You get what I'm saying? It's too much. It's too much. Everyone else. It's not enough looking inward. So that's what I would say about it.
I agree.
Real quick, think about what it is that Abba just said. It's too much of everybody else is the problem instead of looking inward. What have I told you guys since the beginning of this channel? Reflect on self first. Most importantly, anytime you have an issue with anybody else outside of you, still do that self-reflection first, because there's probably some error that happened here. Now, Sneako said that he agreed with what Abba just said, but yet if you pay attention to his actions throughout the entirety of this video, it's very clear that he puts the blame on everyone else except for being accountable for himself or for the people that he's spreading these messages to.
Chad is saying that you're kind of you ride the fence a little bit. I think Playback does the same thing. I think a lot of commentary channels, they want to go red pill, and they decide to take, like, if they make one red pill video, they'll balance it out by doing
Sneako think he red pill though. And when you try to go all the way RP, what ends up happening is you put these blinders on. You put these blinders on and you think you're tunnel vision when it comes to the truth, but in all actuality, the truth is hitting you from every angle, but you're deciding yet to only see what's right here.
What have you seen from us that convinces you that we're being disingenuous?
Playback, like I talked to Agent, and like whenever I say that, like they'll make a red pill video and then immediately make a woke video, and then he laughed when I said that. Which if they laugh, then that's how I know it's true.
Abba's over here laughing just like how I'm laughing. He probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. Just because someone laughs at something you may insinuate doesn't mean that their laughter proves that you're correct. That's not how laughter works. Usually someone laughs at something because they deemed it to be funny. Okay.
Okay, that's a wild reach, but I get what you're saying.
Right.
I would say to you, maybe I don't understand this. Why is it that because I agree with some of what you say, because I don't agree with everything that you say, I'm inherently disingenuous, or I'm coming at this from like I'm trying to appeal to a group?
Well, at the same time, I'm behind. I need to catch up on your videos. But what's your take on the manosphere?
Okay. Hypothetically, even if it's not me, all right. Let's say you're not talking about me. Let's say you're talking about Playback. Yeah. Is it not possible that Playback agrees with certain things within the red pill community, but not everything?
Right.
Maybe I think a lot of people are brainwashed and people don't want to fully agree with someone because it's provocative and because you come off aggressive. So this is a general take I hear from a lot of people who watch my videos or watch Fresh and Fit or the Manosphere stuff. Andrew Tate, any of that, they'll say like, oh, I agree with some things, but not everything.
You should never agree with everything that someone has to say. When I come on here and make these videos, I'm not doing these videos in hopes that everyone will understand where I'm coming from and agree with where I'm coming from. No. There's a reason why this channel is called A Different Perspective, is because we're capable of seeing things from so many different angles. And those angles, to those people that see things that way, believe those things to be true. So just because someone disagrees with some of the information that is provided in the RP community doesn't mean that they are being wishy-washy or being disingenuous.
My opinion is just the genuine. How often do you hear that? I agree with some stuff, but not everything.
Yeah,
very often.
What's wrong with that?
Because it's just people's way, I think, of inserting their opinion.
And watch very closely when you look at the chat here. If you guys want to pause every now and then and read some of the stuff that these people are saying. Some of them are on Sneako's side, some of them are on Alba's side. Like, look at this one right here. Sneako doesn't get the difference between standing up for something and just flat out unbiased journalism. Yeah, it might seem like that.
And it's just
okay. So here's a hypothetical. Right? Okay. I am not a religious person whatsoever. However, I do think there's some aspects of religion I think are really good. Okay. Be it the idea of that they formulate good communities, that they commune everybody together for Sunday church, just so people spend time together, that they give people a set of certain values, be it like love your neighbor, this and that. But when they talk about shit like stoning gay people, I'm like, maybe you lose me. Okay. And when they talk about certain shit like, you can't fuck before marriage, maybe you lose me. Is it not possible that I see certain aspects? Well, I think most of life is a middle ground.
Right.
Okay. Do you think that there's a gender war going on?
Well, no, hold on. We switching topics right now.
Right.
Stick to this before we go to something else.
Exactly. No, Sneako need to slow it down a bit and really understand the conversation that's being had right now. Now, Abba gave an amazing example using religion, showing how you can agree with certain aspects of religion, but there's things in there that maybe you don't agree with so much. It's the same thing when it comes to any of these topics or the RP community as a whole. You can agree with some of it. Don't mean you got to agree with all of it. But they don't like that. You see, that's one of the issues with some of the gun-ho, like Sneako, RP creators. They don't like if you don't agree with everything that they have to say.
I agree with what you're saying.
Okay, so then let's go back. Because you initially started this with, you felt like me, Playback, a couple other groups of people were being maybe a bit disingenuous because we were trying to appeal to the mainstream. I guess the point I'm trying to relate to you is that me having been part of the pickup artist community when I was coming in as a young man, and me learning from a lot of that stuff, there was a lot from that I could take that was helpful. And so I always repeat this stuff. And if you go through my videos, you'll see I repeat a lot of the same shit. I never said the pickup community is perfect. I said some of the shit that they taught me is fantastic. And I even repeat a lot of that stuff. But it's not because I repeated some of that stuff that I think everything is wonderful. And most of the folks who I looked up to in the pickup artist community when I was there at like age 19, 20, they grew out of it, and they tell you in later years, oh, I changed my mind about certain things because life experience, it makes me realize that certain things that I believed when I was younger no longer apply. I'm just saying the same could apply for a lot of other folks in regards to most things, be it the way you view voting, the way you view women. The way I view women at 18 is not the way that I view women at 32. But have stuff you believe in, but don't make the stuff that you believe in consume you in that sense. And there's a lot of stuff they talk about reflection and pondering that you realize, like, oh, okay, there's a certain sense of like, as you get older, and this is true for most people, and you're going to go through it yourself, you're going to have a better view of yourself. Almost like you're seeing yourself in the third person. You know how you play video games first person shooting all the time? Playing a third person shooter is completely different because now you got your whole body in frame. You see what it looks like when you crouch. I think as human beings, we gain more of that perspective as we get older in life if we're reflective enough. And
that's a message right there that I really hope and wish that Sneako would embody and understand that. Because if he were to watch this video 10 years from now, he's gonna see it from the viewpoint, from the lens that Abba is speaking of right now. He's gonna be like, dang, I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I knew what I was talking about. Clearly, I ain't know nothing. Look how immature I sound in this video. He'll get there. He just needs some time.
What I used to believe at 21, I no longer believe now at 32, just because life's experiences and my own reflections realize, like, that's not true at all.
Maybe it's because you become more sedentary as you've gotten older. Like, maybe it's because it's like you become less of that aggressive man that you were at 21. Like, right now, I'm very, like, I'm all about my testosterone balls, manosphere shit. And then maybe you're just 32 and you're like, man, let me settle down.
You don't get it.
You like fucking, Sneako?
We all do, yeah.
You like fucking you, pussy?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that shit gets old.
No.
100%.
No.
100%. And I could point to you hundreds of players who are online right now who have videos of them telling you new pussy gets old. In fact, how about I tell you this one? And this is something even Andrew Tate says. This is something even Andrew Tate says. All right? Sex becomes overrated after time.
No, it's overrated now.
Yeah, it's like
you see how, pay attention, you guys, because at this point, well, hell, he's been doing it, but especially at this point in the video, Sneako is listening to respond instead of listening to understand.
Why do you think that is?
Because you get used to it. It becomes like when you eat the same food over and over again, it becomes boring. That's why you get new. That's why you get new pussy, so that you spice it up. Or you keep upgrading.
But guess what? After you've had enough new pussy, there is no more new pussy.
There's always,
you understand?
There's always new
no,
pussy.
You think that. After you've had a few dimes, you realize dimes ain't nothing. After you've had some baddies, you realize baddies ain't nothing.
He's 100% correct. He is 100% correct. If you ever have a conversation with some baddies, women that some guys would melt at their feet, have conversation with those women. Let them women tell you about all the different men that they have experienced. A simpleton man is going to sit there and be like, yo, how could a man ever leave you? How could a man ever cheat on you? If you've had a few baddies, you're going to realize that they ain't no different than the rest of them. They just look more attractive. And that alone ain't going to get you very far.
So what do you
why do you think so many of these dudes, as they get older in life, they stop talking about this shit nearly as much?
Right.
Because they get older and they're less testosterone.
It's not even that.
No.
It's you realize, like, bruv, the payout ain't worth the work in.
Because you get tired. You get older, you don't have as much energy. You get,
Yeah, don't you just love how Sneako's just assuming that as you get older, you get tired and then you don't have the sexual to want to go out there? How he gonna talk about somebody getting older and not having that urge no more when he himself hasn't experienced being older? He's only 23 years old himself. In the next 10 years, when he's Abba's age, he's gonna realize, well, look, I still feel the same. I still can want these women, this plethora, but your mindset is going to change. Not because of the testosterone. Your mindset is going to change because you're going to realize all that hunting that you're doing to get after these women is a waste of time. You're going to want to find somebody that you can actually have a true meaningful connection with. When you get to the point where you're ready to find your person, it should be with someone that you can not only be physical with and be attracted to, but someone that you can be a friend to as well. Someone that you can be able to enjoy each other's time and company, be around one another, and enjoy each other without it being sexual at all.
even if you had the energy, because it's not worth the time.
That's it.
You know, there's a video, and like maybe you don't give a fuck about his opinion, but
No, I do.
I thought it was great. It's one with Shaquille O'Neal, and he talks about his divorce with his first wife, and he's like talking about like how, you know, he was fucking left, right, center, and she was giving him kids, and at one point during this period, he got caught cheating, and ended up fucking up the marriage. They get divorced, and now, you know, Shaq is, I think, what, closer to 50. And he says something that I thought was so telling. He says, looking back now, I realize like I was the one who fucked most of that up. And you can pull up the clip later if you ever get a chance. I'll send it to you on Discord. But he says, the most joyous moments of my life were coming home and then seeing all my kids around and then getting to spend time with them. And that divorce, going through that whole process, that really stole from me like what I realized was my biggest joy.
Yeah.
I spend time with my nieces now. I spend time with my mom, taking her out to dinner, you know, showing her good stuff. And I realize like that's the stuff that matters for me. I've had pussy. I've had enough of it for a lifetime that I'm like, bro, if I get new one, it's not even. But when I spend time with my niece and I'm watching her like walk for the first time, or I'm seeing her say words, like that shit hits different.
So you giving up on your balls?
Oh my God! What? See, that right there, that's a response that tells you two things. He's very young. He's very young. He don't quite understand. And then he, like I said, he listens to respond instead of listen to understand. Because I feel like even a lot of the young guys that watch this channel right now is hearing where Abba is coming from and is completely understanding it. It's like, man, when it comes down to it, what's going to be more important? You coming home and spending time with your family, enjoying your kids, watching them grow to be the best versions of themselves, or you going out there and chasing random tail from different women left and right that's only going to create headaches and problems in your life, because we know how a lot of these women are. And if you're the type of guy that's chasing after all this tail, guess what? You're no better than them. You're no better than these women. My suggestion is, if you know yourself well enough to know that you're going to want to maybe potentially dibble and dabble in some other poutine, I'm talking to my fellas, when you're in a relationship, to get in a relationship with someone who is willing to either do the same thing with you, or y'all have an open relationship to where both of y'all can do that. Because if you're in a relationship with someone who has decided that they are going to commit to you and you only, and are expecting the same type of energy in return, then you're being a dog and you're being selfish when you're deciding to step out to find some new booty elsewhere.
Even that, it's like, you know, I've had experiences where the pussy was just like in front of me on the platter, and I'm like, bro, I just want to sleep early today.
Yeah, you're
like,
getting tired. You're getting older. But like, that's just like, I'm too tired to fuck.
Well, it's. But if I was faced with the same choice, if I was to see family or things like that, I wouldn't make that same decision. What I'm trying to tell you is your priorities shift as you get older. Mm-hmm. As you start to
is your priorities shifting, or is your testosterone just dropping?
No. As a man, your testosterone doesn't drop until like you're 40.
It's interesting to see Sneako look at it like a shift in priority is really just a shift in testosterone. I don't understand how he can see it that way. Just like when he decided that he was going to make something of himself by becoming a content creator, that was a shift in priority. That shift had nothing to do with testosterone. It's the same thing when a man decides that he's going to be there and provide for a family rather than to be in the streets. It's hilarious because Sneako talks about these women that are for the streets, yet he's for the streets himself. And it's like he doesn't see it that way. A lot of these RP guys get mad. They want to bash these women that are for the streets when they themselves are for the streets. They couldn't be more for the streets. And what it is with a lot of them is they haven't matured enough. I don't care if they're 30. If they still have this same mindset, then it's just that they haven't matured enough. They say women mature faster than men, right? Then they just haven't matured enough. Simple as that. It might take to their 40 or 50 or maybe even 60 for that maturity to catch up to them.
Tate's older than you and he's still on like get pussy shit. I mean, he's talking about how it gets
He's
boring.
not. Yeah, he talks about how he gets boring and how he's barely on it nearly as much anymore.
But every video you watch is like, I wake up and I push 2 bitches out of the way. Are you waking up and pushing 2 bitches out of the way?
Bro. You know that he's saying a lot of that shit for shits and giggles. Okay.
Yeah, but
no. Listen. If you're making money and you're making moves, you ain't got time to be with hoes all day.
No.
And I'll tell you this right.
Most of the day.
Most of the day.
Get out of my bed. I got shit to do.
If you're making money and you're really making money, you ain't got time to be with hoes most of the day. And you don't want to because you realize that making money and being able to take care of your shit is far more rewarding.
Yes.
Again, you a young man. What are you, 24, 23?
23.
I ain't mad at you. Be about that. Get as much pussy. Go do whatever you gotta do. I'm just telling you that when you see people speak differently, it's not because, oh, they're turning into beta males or, oh, they want to be feminists all of a sudden. This life gives you experience.
Yes.
And as a result, it shapes a lot of the way that you think about stuff. Ask any motherfucker who got kids and talk to them about it, and they say, that's the best thing in my life.
Every time. Every single time. Every guy that I know that has kids, that is a father, meaning that he's a part of them kids' lives, he says it. My kids are the best part of my life. The best. When I tell you I can't wait to find me a woman to have kids with, we raise them kids together. That's literally my goal. That's literally my goal.
That's the most important.
My goal.
Then your wife leaves you and takes half your money, takes your house, takes your dog.
That's a separate issue. That's a separate issue. I'm talking about.
Dang, Sneako said that like that happens to every man that gets in a relationship, gets married, and has kids. That's not RP. That's not RP at all to believe that that happens to every single man. Huh?
Marriages end that way. Over half of marriages ended that. Like, yeah, you have your kids and everything.
I'm talking about divorced dads who have kids and tell you, I would never give up a day with my kid to go be with a hoe. He says, they'll tell you, I always prioritize my children. It's not because they became beta sips. It's because they understand what's more important in life. What I'm trying to get to you as a point is life experiences, things that come to you, be it children, be it family, be it whatever the fuck it is. It changes the way that you view priorities in life. And so every time you hear people speak from a different perspective, it's not their betas or whatever. It's just that life has just changed them through experience. That
sounds boring. I don't want to be. When I'm 32, I want to be fucking double the bitches I'm fucking now. I want to be having a bigger house, having like I want to be down the Hugh Hefner shit.
You saw how this man was waiting for Abba to stop talking just so that he could come in and say what it is that he really wanted to say. Everything that Abba said sounded great to me. But Sneako's over here listening to it and like, oh, that doesn't sound fun at all. And just like Alba said, yo, you're young. I'm not mad at you. Do your thing. Go out there and have your fun. To me, it looks like Sneako needs to recognize that he is living the experience of a young man and that when he gets older, it's going to change. Rather, it is a decrease in testosterone or not, because by the time he hit 28, he gonna feel a difference in that testosterone. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Most men by the age of 28, they can tell you, oh, well, something's different. Something don't feel quite the same. Something don't feel how it did in my early 20s. Feels a little bit different. But it ain't just that. If Sneako was to have a child at 25 within the next 2 years, he's also going to go through that same thing where he's like, oh man, I done knocked this girl up. I'm about to be a father. The child is here. I love this child. My priorities are changing. He's like, I want to be a father, a good father to this child. He won't even have the time to go out there and chase ass like he's been doing.
That's what makes you excited. That's what keeps your balls going. Like you can't let go of that. You can't let go of your manhood at a certain age. If you give up on that, I'm like, oh, I like playing macaroni drawings with my kids.
You know what you sound like? You sound like a lot of young women I know who say they just want to travel for the rest of their life and live on a beach. And then they get to 30, 35, and you know what they realize? Damn, I want a husband. I want to have kids.
No, I want to have kids too. But also,
okay,
in the kitchen.
Okay. And you know what? Once they have those, they realize, oh, this is the shit. I don't need to be out here in Cancun taking fucking selfies all day. Listen, it sounds great to be fucking many women. I'm just telling you, almost every guy.
That's not a valuable comparison. That's not a good comparison. Because a woman saying she wants to travel and drink martinis in Mykonos all day, that's giving up and that's not doing anything. For me to have 10 bitches in the crib, like in the bikinis serving me food, I need to constantly be getting it. Because if I'm not getting it, then they can't be here. They don't respect me. So constantly having women in my life is to motivate me more to be the best man I could be. The more bitches I got, the badder bitches that are here, the more I'm going to keep on going. Women motivate you.
Maybe it's just me, but this what he's saying sounds very, very immature. It sounds very immature. I've never thought this way. I've never, look, even when I was his age, I didn't think this way. Oh, I want a whole bunch of pat. I always want, look, let me just get one. It's just one. I can only deal with one of them at a time anyway. They wild, they crazy, they a little loony. I'd be damned if I'm gonna sit here and have all these different women emotions being thrown at me all at once. No. I can't see how he would want that.
Okay, listen, I'm not mad at you. And like I said, I think this just comes down to a different age. So I'm not even going to try to like convince you. All I'm going to say is this. You're going to have experiences with your friends. Y'all going to go to maybe a specific dinner. You take a trip. Maybe y'all watch a movie. Y'all having a laugh. And that's going to be a really valuable memory for you. And as you're going to get older, you're going to forget about 95% of the women you fucked.
Yes.
But you're always going to remember the stuff that you spent with your family, the really beautiful moments. And so you don't have to believe me today. You don't have to believe me tomorrow. I'm just saying, if you come at a point later on in life where you start to question certain things, maybe just think back on this and just think about it. That's all. I'm not.
So check this out. I have a neighbor, right? So I just bought a new vehicle and I pimped it out. Looks great. Looks nice. I have a neighbor, right? His neighbor, he has about 3 kids. He has a beautiful wife. He's complimenting me on my vehicle. Like, man, dog, your vehicle looks nice, man. I wish I had that. You know what I tell him? I wish I had what you have. I would trade this for that. He's like, man, really? I'm like, yeah, in a heartbeat. You're single. You're out here enjoying your life. But I'm like, I'd rather have that. I'll trade this for that. As you get older and become more wiser, your priorities change. What I'm hearing from Sneako is, I don't know enough yet. That's what this sounds like to me. I don't understand enough yet. This little box that I have put myself in, I'm going to live here a while. But in that box, he's going to obtain and acquire experience, which is going to shift his mindset in the future. We ain't got to worry about him. He's going to be all right.
I don't think you got to agree because you're not at that point yet in your life.
I do agree. Like, that sounds appealing to me too. Like going and watching like a rom-com, like cuddling up and she puts your legs on top and you have a candle lit. That sounds great. But nowadays, the way Western women think, they always are. And
this is that part right here, you guys. You see this right here? This face? This is, I'm going to project outwards. Instead of me looking in at the issue, because we see what the issue is with Sneako. Instead of me looking in, I'm going to look out and point the finger at point the finger at the women, point the finger at society, point the finger at the government, point the finger at the Illuminati.
Aiming for more. So that does sound ideal, but all of them, because of Instagram and because of the stuff they're looking at,
point the finger at social media. He's doing it.
Women don't want to settle as much as, like, at the same level that men don't want to settle. What is your general opinion on the manosphere?
My opinion on the manosphere, at least from like a lot of the content creators that I've seen, I think there's a need for it, which is what I've always said. There's a need for content that kind of helps you guide young men because we don't have any tools. I just think that a lot of the people who are doing the leading aren't very good at their job. But I also say I'm not going to be one of them people who's going to take over their spot. So I can't even knock them that hard for trying to do what they do. But sometimes I like to have a laugh at some of the goofy shit I hear. I'm like, I ain't buying that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how like your girlfriend needs to delete her Instagram?
The girlfriend, so I've had this conversation many times. My issue isn't that the girlfriend needs to delete their Instagram. My reason is just some of the reasons that they say is goofy. Like if you want to say your girl doesn't want to, you don't want to have Instagram because you don't want her thirst trapping or having her ass out online. I'm like, that's perfectly sensible to say you don't want your girlfriend doing that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Me, it's the whole double speak that these guys do where it's like, oh, my girl can be thirst trapping, but if I want to do it, it's perfectly fine. It's like, okay. Yeah, if you're making millions of dollars and you're one of them high-value dudes, that's fine. But most of the motherfuckers watching your shit are poor. Right. So them rules don't apply to them. So let's talk about real people. Let's not just talk about what rich niggas do.
Right.
So do you think maybe it's not that you're being disingenuous, but that you appeal to normal people rather than trying to elevate people?
Sneako, at the end of the day, most people are never going to be filthy rich. You're the exception. You're the 1%. That's not possible
I'm not
for
filthy
everybody.
rich. I'm not rich, but like I tell my chat every day, like
You are.
I'm rich.
Whether you realize it, Sneako, you make well over 6 figures.
Yeah,
you are less than 1%.
I'm still like my student loans are being paid off this week, so technically
look at Abba's face. It's like, Sneako, do you not realize like the position that you're in right now, bro? You're 23 years old, just graduate college, and your student loans are about to be paid off. Sneako, most people, they don't pay their student loans off in their lifetime. They're lucky if they get them paid off by the age of 65. What? You're 23 and your loans are about to be paid off, bro. You're on a different tier than the majority of people. He don't see it, though.
I'm in debt.
It doesn't matter whether you're in debt. Your projected income for this year and for the next subsequent years, you are less than 1%.
It's projected because I'm putting in the work. But right now,
I don't disagree.
On paper, I have negative money.
I'm not disagreeing with you that you didn't work hard. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is the rules of dating that exist for you as somebody who's making a lot more money, who has a lot more flexibility, are not going to be the same rules of dating that exist for the everyday person. Do you understand that?
Okay, that's fair. But shouldn't we encourage men to strive to be high-value men instead of just accepting their place on the totem pole?
No, we should not do that. We should not be trying to teach men to strive to be high-value men in the sense of earning a whole lot of income, becoming multimillionaires, stuff like that. No, just be the best version of yourself. Earn enough money to where you can support yourself and a potential family if you decide to go that route. That's it. Just be happy with your situation and where you are in your life. That's it. Because everybody is not going to have it.
No, I don't think you should be pushing people to strive to be that.
Men should be complacent?
Because here's the thing. It's one thing to say, hey, guys, if you want to get to this level, cool, congratulations. Most people are never going to get to live that life.
Everybody can get it now. The internet allows everyone to be rich. You're making that face, but money now is all numbers on your phone.
So everybody that's watching me right now has one of these, right? But not everyone that's watching me right now has utilized this to earn a substantial amount of income. And it's not because they don't want to do it, or it's not because you all don't want to do it. There's way more that factors into it. Part of it has to do with the fact that you don't know how to do it. And the other part of it has to do with the fact that you don't have the drive to do it. And the other part of it has to do with the fact that your brain will never be able, some of you, your brain will never be able to conceptualize the thoughts and ideas that go behind earning money from this device. There's a lot of factors.
Okay, Sneako, you understand that the whole principle of rich is the whole idea of abundance? That if you have an abundance, somebody has to have less?
Yes.
Yeah, but everybody watching this stream has an internet connection, so we all have the capability to get there.
No, not true.
We all have the capability to get there, but it's only the resources are finite. It's not possible for everybody to be filthy rich. It's not.
You heard that? Because the resources are finite, we don't all have the capability to obtain mass wealth. We don't. If it's spread out amongst everyone, then it means that no one is wealthy. It means everyone is equal. We can't all have wealth. If we all had what we thought was wealth, if every last one of us had $1 million in our bank account, no one would be wealthy.
Possible.
It is. It is. If they have a phone, it is. There's no excuse anymore. Phone connection, all the information's online. All the stuff that I've learned about how to make videos, about how to make money, have been from YouTube tutorials. Everything. We all have the capability to get rich. And like I think you saying that is like encouraging complacency when because it's getting so much harder for men, we should not encourage that behavior. Like
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to encourage people to be complacent. What I'm trying to tell you is that your paradigm is all fucked up. The idea that everyone can be rich is one, not backable by any fucking economist in the world. Nobody would ever say everybody could be rich. However, what I am trying to say is
90-something% of all the money that is made is owned by a very small percent of people. And it will always be that way.
you need to be rich to lead a good life, to live a life of happiness.
This is right.
I don't know about you and where you've lived specifically, but I've had the luxury of living all over. Even in the States, when I go to the South, a lot of people out there aren't talking about being filthy rich. If they can have their home, have their farm, have their land, have their guns, have their wife, they're happy. Not everybody needs to be, quote unquote, rich to live a good life.
Yes.
And when you sell this paradigm to people, you're inherently making so that vast majority of your audience who buy into this will always be unhappy.
That's right. That's right. When you're trying to teach people that they all need to be successful, rich, and wealthy, what you're doing is telling them that they are unhappy where they are right now, and that if they don't acquire these things, that they will never be happy.
Because they'll never be able to reach something that is not, it's not feasible for everybody.
Why
so
is
what
it
I'm
feasible
trying to
for everybody? If we all have a phone and interconnection, and we could all download Coinbase, Gemini, we could all make content. We could all there's a million fucking ways to make money online.
I think you'd have to probably sit down with an economist for him to break down all the numbers for you.
Why?
But because you're asking me how to explain the breakdown of resources in the world and how not everybody can have an abundance. If everyone has an abundance, the word abundance doesn't even exist.
That's right.
Richness nearly determines that you have more than others.
That's right.
You understand that?
To get rich in the first place, you need to accept the realities of the world and that things are unfair, and you need to apply yourself.
Okay.
Most people like what you're saying.
Sneako doesn't get it. I really don't think, because I feel like if anybody listened to what Abba just said, it would shut you up. It would shut you up.
A lot of people hear what you're saying and just accept, yeah, I'm never going to be rich. And then they won't. If you think that way, you will not get rich. But if you think it's possible, I have to get rich or die trying, more likely than not, you will.
Dang, that sound like a fairy tale to me. If I think poor, I'm gonna always be poor. If I think rich, I'm just gonna become rich. No, you got to put in work. And even in putting in the work, you still may not get there. I don't think he get it, y'all.
Sneako, this is like one of those things where I feel like people think everyone's the main character. Okay.
Yes.
No, not everyone is the main character. Some people are side characters. Some people are really good role players within a storyline. Not everyone gets to be a main character. Not everyone gets to live by the same rule.
This is something that I was telling a buddy of mine, my former roommate, if y'all know who he is. I was having the same conversation with him before I even got to the position or anywhere near where I'm at right now. But he saw me working. He saw me grind. He saw me practicing. He saw me embarking on all these different business models, from e-commerce to sneaker restorations. That's where the name Artofkickz came from doing content, everything that I was doing. He saw me doing all this stuff, and he knew that my end goal was to become successful, was to become maybe a millionaire from it, right? And he would get upset. He'd like, oh man, I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't need all that. I don't need all this. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm not telling you that you do need it. I need you to continue to work your job at FedEx, because when I place an order for an item, I need it to get to me. As long as you're content with what it is that you're doing, that is all that matters. And I had to explain to him, I'm not trying to push this onto you. I'm telling you what I want for myself. But I need you to do the job that you're doing, just like I need the clerk at Kroger to be at that cash register to ring up my groceries when I come through that aisle.
Everyone gets to be a king, okay? There are kings, there are jesters, there are other people, but not everyone gets to live at the top. That's just not the way the world is built.
But the world for average men now is getting harder and harder. Like, the average man is invisible now.
Yeah, okay. I don't disagree with that. So we can talk about that. But the solution to that is not making everyone a high-value man.
Right.
Even Kevin Samuels will tell you that's not even possible.
No.
God rest his soul. That's not possible for everyone to be filthy rich, which is why Kevin always talked about encouraging these women to understand the importance of a blue-collar person and to be respectful of them, because the guy doing your plumbing is extremely important in society.
And that's some of the things that I don't think a lot of people understood about Kevin Samuels and the conversations that he was having. The reason he was telling the women the stuff that he was telling them is so that they can understand how unrealistic their standards and expectations were. What Kevin Samuels was telling all of these women is that, hey, you're overlooking a lot of amazing men that earn good money, that can support themselves and a family, but you don't want to be with them because of the title that they hold. You don't want to be with him because he earns just as much money as you do, but you want him to make more. Instead of coming together and combining your resources to make this stuff work. A lot of these women were so upset at Kevin for telling them, yo, y'all are being unrealistic and y'all need to go ahead and change it up or you're going to die alone. But anyway, y'all, we gonna end it right here. This video went long enough. Y'all want to see the rest of it, it will be linked down in the description box below. But leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. See you.